Here we are, another week, three guys, many games. I'm Steven Sombrado, here with Rob Smalley and the GOAT, Vin Sombrado. We're back, guys. Big
We're
week,
back. We're
Listen,
back.
we concentrate on lacrosse so much, but
Yep, we're
meanwhile,
back.
Smalley's traveling
Oh, wait.
around
We got complications.
every minute
Steven's freezing out
doing
now.
a basketball
Steven's
event.
frozen. Steven's frozen.
I'm
You
frozen.
froze. Yeah, you froze.
You what? You were frozen. He comes on late, right? Now he's frozen. It's all coming back to him.
I'm not frozen. But
Now you're unfrozen.
with all the lacrosse, the guy is doing a lot of basketball. You're at a lot of basketball for a so-called lacrosse guy. What's going on?
No, it was a great weekend. Dallas, Texas. What a great city, man. Really, bigger is better, baby. It's huge. Hotels are great. They had 2 games down there. I'm following North Carolina State and the whole O'Connell family. Michael O'Connell, the player, and his family. Oh, what a tribe he's got, man. Unbelievable. He took care of me the whole weekend. I couldn't believe it. Food. We went to STK Steakhouse at night. And let me tell you about the game. DJ Horn, DJ Burns, Michael O'Connell. What a game they had. First game they opened up with Marquette. They smothered them on defense. It was an amazing game. They got through Marquette to the Elite Eight. They played on Sunday, and they slayed the Dragon of Duke University. It was a stunning fashion. The first half, they didn't do anything. Second half, they just stole the show. They ate them up. It was incredible what I saw. What did you guys see?
Well, and it can translate to this year's playoffs in lacrosse too. What you see in North Carolina State is the danger of a team that has belief. They figured some things out. Whatever happened during the year, losses, they get to a situation where they're in an elimination phase at the ACC tournament, which can happen to any of these lacrosse teams, and they start believing. They start going on a run, and they start feeling confident. And if you believe you're going to win, that's a lot of the battle. I think some teams probably go in saying, they don't really have a chance to win. So belief brings them to great places. What'd you think, Ben?
I don't know. I'm confused because I'm distracted. Smalley's eating goulash. He's got people coming in talking about sending things out. He's not focused. He's got to understand that when teams have to win championships, you got to keep focus. If we're going to make this a top podcast, we need focus from him.
We'll start asking questions. Let's go. Move it along here.
Yeah, but you're distracting, drinking, eating, everything. All right, so now I'll add something to, at least from my basketball take. I thought that let's talk about the first game, Purdue winning and making it to the Final Four. These are the 2 games that took place down in Dallas. I thought that maybe the athleticism of the team against Purdue was Tennessee was going to be maybe a little much, because early on they were blocking the shot of the big guy and the whole bit. But at 7-4, you can't teach 7-4, like they say, can't teach speed sometimes. But this guy was he ended up with 40 points, I think. However many rebounds, he's a force. So at the college level, it's going to be very interesting. I thought that NC State, I hate to use the term, but they kind of bitch slapped Duke around. I thought Duke played a little soft. I thought it looked to me like NC State wanted it a little more than they did. And, of course, they got a few guys in foul trouble, which was a problem. But that's what NC State will do to you with the big guy down there. Depends on how the ref's going to call the game with DJ Burns, So, anyway, there were 2 great games. Of course, we were rooting for NC State. But the big news was, because of Michael O'Connell's lacrosse background, his brother Thomas, captain of the University of Maryland, when they won the national championship, Tim O'Connell, the dad, was contacted by the Baltimore Sun for an interview, and also Michael had some words there. And it was a very nice article about how he was recruited to go to Maryland and that he had a connection that his brother had played
Wait a
there.
sec. I got O'Connell on the line here.
Oh, Tim's in. He's calling
Timmy.
in.
Hey, Timmy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for calling. I got you. I'm on a podcast with Vinny Sombrado, the Lacrosse podcast, and Steven. Say hello.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's
How you
up?
doing, Tim? We're
Tim?
just singing Michael's praises.
He's giving them back.
Oh, that's the best of all.
Just for the podcast, we got Tim O'Connell on the phone.
Wait, I want
We
to
had a
ask,
great
I wanna
weekend.
ask him a question. This is Steven. I want to ask
Turn
him
it
a
up.
question.
Turn it up your volume.
It's gotta be an amazing.
I'll call you right back, Timmy.
Why'd you cut him off?
Because I couldn't hear anything, and he
I
had to
could hear
go.
him.
I could hear him fine.
Why is it all low here? Why is everything low?
That's another.
I heard him fine. Look, he gets the guy on, he cuts the guy off. Oh my God!
You never
This is-
get rid of the talent. This is what this guy doesn't get it.
Why is he low? Everybody's low. Come on.
It's all about you. Take it easy. There's other people involved here. Stop making it all about you.
It's true. It's true. Every word of it.
So anyway, before Tim called in and got cut off, I was saying that they had a nice picture of Thomas O'Connell with a bunch of teammates from Maryland and the Baltimore Sun talking about Michael's run with NC State and that how he learned to do some good things on the basketball court from playing lacrosse. And of course, who's in the middle of the whole picture in the Baltimore Sun? Of course, Coach Smalley, Bobby Courtside. I don't know what else we could call him, but he was right there in the middle of all the kids in the picture.
Who would have known? He took all his friends to the game in Dallas. He had like 15 friends there that played for Coach Tillman, and they said, "I want to get this picture." So I ran in the picture, took it, and then the Baltimore Sun called, and they must have sent the picture, and it wound up being in the Baltimore Sun. It's unbelievable. Really is a lot of fun, guys. Nothing like basketball in the world, man. I love lacrosse.
We'll have to cheer them on. Obviously, this weekend this is going to be a historic weekend for them. You know, it's amazing. I was watching the documentary "Survive in Advance." From the '83 team, and there are so many similarities of this run they're on now. Like, it's actually kind of scary. Like, did you know that in the quarterfinal game of the ACC tournament in '83, they ended up in overtime against North Carolina? It was a different team, but they ended up in overtime, just like they ended up in overtime with Virginia this year. So, and obviously both teams needing to win that tournament just to get into the other tournament. So it is kind of eerie that there are so many similarities there. And is it a situation where it's just meant to be for them? I mean,
we're going to find out in a week. We only got to wait a week to find it out, but we better move on to our core sport, lacrosse, and talk about what took place this week.
To move to a game, since we were talking about Thomas O'Connell and his Maryland teammates, Coach John Tillman must have given a similar speech than Coach Keats gave at halftime, because they were on life support. A loss against Penn State, they're playing Penn State on the road, Big Ten game, they're losing and not looking so great, and turned it around in the second half, a great effort, and got that win and put them right back in the mix again.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Steven, what do you think is like halftime in the game? There's always two halves to a game, and they say, just like you're talking about. What does a coach actually say to the players in halftime to make them go? Somebody like a Tillman, because he's not like a violent guy. He's not a screamer. He's more of a soft-spoken guy. Am I right? Or is he like got the devil in him a little bit? He yells at the kids like wild. I wouldn't think so.
No, he doesn't. he doesn't strike me as that type of guy. But I don't sense any panic on him, even in a game where they're down against Penn State.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like they were getting like blown out. They weren't playing so great. To me, Maryland, he started to turn it around. The goaltending, I know he's coming off an injury. He hasn't looked perfectly right to me, that guy, and he's a great goaltender. But I got to tell you, as soon as he started making some saves, they turned that game quickly around against Penn State. So I think he probably just tells them to relax and not to get all not to try to get it all back in one play. You got time. You got a whole half to regenerate yourself.
Right.
And
Right. He's a balanced coach. I agree with you.
Sustained effort, and it was a great win. I think it's going to give them confidence moving forward. Did you see much of the game, Vin?
Yeah, I caught the whole second half, so I knew they were down, and but even what I did see, they were getting the best of it in the second half, obviously with the comeback. But the goalie for Penn State was outstanding and made a ton of saves. They were really putting the heat on. They really were getting great shots, great opportunities. All these different teams, they have some stars. If I had to say, to me, like, as a real team, they really play offense. They share the ball like unbelievable. It's really not one guy ever holding the ball, so they're dangerous. Listen, that face-off guy, everybody knows how good he is. The goalie will get better. I mean, I wouldn't want to be facing them early in the playoffs if they, but the question is, I guess we'll get to that. Will they make the playoffs? How many teams from these different conferences are going to make it at the end of the day? If you don't get the AQ, who's gonna get the bids?
Well, I don't know if to me in that game also another big. You mentioned the face-off guy. I thought Penn State exposed themselves a little bit unnecessarily when the guy was winning. He won a few of the face-offs, especially beginning of the second half, and guys were running off the field with Maryland's guys on the field. Like
Yeah.
they gave them odd man situations, which the face-off man made 2 assists, and the guy off the wing made 2 goals in a row.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that happened
Wow.
early in the game. So I mean, to me, it seems like I don't think you run off the field until one of their guys runs off the field, if you ask me. But they
Well,
gave
whether
them.
that was whether that was a halftime adjustment or if it just was flow of the game, but how long have I been saying that? Not only about a team like Maryland, I say it all the time about teams that are underdogs. To me, you have to make the other team play your style. And by that I mean if you keep guys on the field when they're not used to being on the field, they make bad decisions about how to get off, not to get off, and then they're exposed defensively because most of them have never played, if they don't stay in, and you can expose those guys. So, I think they did a bit of that. They allowed them to play. That guy's pretty good with the ball, anyway, the face-off guy from Maryland. He's dangerous. He can make plays.
Well,
But
a lot of guys are going to be dangerous when your defender runs off the field and
yeah,
lets
no,
you
well, they're
go
not.
down on
But
a
you
play.
still got to handle. A lot of face-off guys can create something, but they don't even bother
What was the
because they
score
just
after
go
the first
off.
half? What was
Were
it?
they
8-4.
down 8-3, 8-4?
8-4.
So he adjusted. Tillman adjusted. This is what you're talking about. This has
Yeah,
to do with coaching. This is why he's the elite of the game. I mean,
yeah,
this guy is just year after year solid.
yeah.
Coaching decisions, little stuff.
Oh, I definitely listen.
Tension.
Yeah.
If that goalie starts to get hot like he did, before he was, I know he had that ACL or whatever, but he doesn't look completely confident to me. But if he really puts it back together again, they're going to be a dangerous team. They got every
Hmm.
piece. They'll be tough. I mean, they don't.
Yeah, mistake free. They were mistake free in the second half.
The one thing I said, I think I said this previously, is like they don't seem to have like that. They don't have a Brennan O'Neill. They don't have like an imposing figure. Like even when they had Wisnauskas, they don't. They seem to share the ball, like Vinny's saying. Like so many different guys get involved, which is great. They're a great team, and
They're also the least penalized team in the league. Least penalized team. Vinny, you got to
Well,
fact check. I know Vinny. He's already fact checking me. There you go. Well,
No,
do
I
that for
don't know.
next
They
week.
could be. I don't know.
They're
I
the
don't
least
know.
penalized in the league. That's what someone told me. I didn't check it. I don't know how to check that anyway. Whatever. But that does mean a lot. If you're a man up,
Sure.
it's just like hockey. You got so much of a better chance of winning the games. I don't know how many penalties were in that game, but
The other team can't score when you have the ball.
good
well,
point.
they were rewarded because they jumped up. They had knocked them down all the way to 12, and now they've jumped them back up to number 6. So they're right. They're right back.
Hey guys, on a funny note, can I add some flavor here? I can see myself in about a year from now getting a tremendous call from Coach Tillman to be an assistant coach. What do you guys think about that?
Oh yeah. He might bring you in at the last. He might bring you in late for this year. What are you kidding me? Didn't they just bring Sean Smith on over there?
Yeah.
So he may need you.
And you have your.
I don't know. He's texting me during his game about O'Connell's game. He was playing. I looked at the time, but Texas is an hour different.
Oh,
I didn't realize that.
I thought he was texting you during his game.
Yeah, but I didn't realize. Ben, he's laughing. We're an hour different from Texas. Did you know that?
Yes, I knew
We're
that.
down an hour.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was coaching you at halftime from the locker room to ask
man.
what adjustments he should
Oh,
make.
he was on all cylinders. He's got the Baltimore Sun calling him while he's playing games. Oh God.
Well, let's go to another game, Steven.
Well, the other big game of the week was when you had Syracuse with a real test traveling to Notre Dame. That was a battle. That was a war. Notre Dame came out on top and looked strong. But I will say, Syracuse was game. Syracuse hung in there the whole game. They showed me that they're gonna be something towards the end there, because that's a tough.
They got beat on the faceoffs, guys. It was 70-30 faceoffs. That's what it was. The possession of the game, like Vinny talked, it was about 70-30. Maybe a little bit more one way.
Well, if it was that's a big, that's a big determining factor. But listen, I'm not surprised another Chaminade guy taking faceoff. So the kid Lynch,
God,
he came up huge last year in the finals. He was good the other day. You got another Chaminade guy in the goal who came up big. Entenmann played a good game. So my high school is really being represented well at not only Notre Dame, but at a lot of schools.
I mean, he made the Sports Center top number 1, Entenmann, on that save.
Oh, the diving across save.
Wait,
yeah.
you guys are pronouncing it wrong. Get your okay. Are you saying Entenmann like Entenmann's cake or Edelman? What are you saying?
Entenmann, like Edelman's
Oh,
cake.
geez, Edelman. What? Spell it for me now, Big Shots.
The day I pronounce something wrong compared to Smalley, then I gotta be.
Oh, now you attack it. That wasn't right.
Yeah, you.
I gotta push back the
You
attack.
went on
That
the
was
attack. So you say he's got an L in his name? Is that
No,
what
you're saying Edelman. What are you saying? Entenmann's like Entenmann's cake?
Yes.
Entenmann.
Oh, it's the same spelling. Maybe he owns Entenmann's. How do you know?
All right. No,
Anyway,
but
yeah,
you're
he
the
is
one
good,
saying
Joe.
it was Edelman's.
I thought it had an L in it. Sorry.
All right, listen.
What'd you think of that
For
game,
you-
Vin?
He is talented, though. He is really talented.
I thought that Syracuse showed fight. I thought Notre Dame got a little complacent when they got a 6-goal, 7-goal lead, whatever it was. Maybe the most they had was 7. That was short-lived, but I know they were at least up 6 when I think it was 12-6 when I was watching, and they got a little lackluster with the ball. They a couple guys made some good plays in the defensive end and threw the ball out of bounds on clears instead of relaxing and making an easy pass. They're throwing these bullets to the guys right on the sideline. You can't give any, with a shot clock and with face-offs, you can't give teams any hope to start to come back. You got to play smart. You got to, when you get leads like that, you got to possess the ball a little bit. I'm not saying stop playing if that's how you got there, but you got to start to, rein in the horses a little bit and, because run shot clock a little more, if you can. But I would say coming out of that game, being on the road, because Syracuse has hardly played any games on the road this year, to travel down to ND and all, and they made a pretty good showing of it. I think that,
Oh, Fish played great that game.
yeah, I thought Leo had a
He's going to
very
be a
nice
first team
game.
You saw that come out? He's All American. It came
Mhm.
out. I'll show you guys what it is. I got to. You want me to pull it up and show it on air?
I saw it. Well, it's on Inside Lacrosse. What it was a mid-season, what they were calling a mid-season, who they thought for All Americans.
Well,
They had him listed. They had him listed as an honorable mention at midfield.
well,
But
they got some
he's, yeah, I mean, he's had a very good year. He's a matchup problem for a short stick. He really has a good release on his shot. He gets his hands free. He puts the ball on cage. He had a nice dodge. One time he got down the left side with a pole on him. It wasn't like he only beat a short. He ended up beating a pole on one for a goal. Guy got a little behind him, and he went right past him, and he put in a nice shot, high to high. And look, they obviously, if you just look at the scoring, Joey Spallina, he had one goal on a fast break. Other than that, he really didn't test the guy covering him, who was pretty tough. But I think his the attention he gets, maybe opens things up for other guys too.
I think the other thing that
He's showing us. Here
exposed,
he goes. He's showing us. Tilted forward. We really can't see. No, not sideways. Forward.
he's a disaster.
The way the light's hitting it, your light's hitting it. You can't see what's on the phone. You can't see it. Yeah, I can't see anything. I don't know. No. Now stand it up the other way. There he is. Yeah, there you go.
There's Fish.
There he is.
First team All American, kid. You got to give him credit. Right?
He's not first team All American yet.
Oh, man, they say you don't know what he is. They say All American. What? I
You
mean,
get him right. You got to leave it. You got to.
they actually pick it. They pick it.
If you want it done right, you get it done right.
Oh, there it is. That's why we got you, Stevie. I love you, kid. How the hell did you get that? You had it or I had it?
I know what I'm doing. So
Yeah, I like this kid, man. He really, the parents, they're like, he's a lunch pail kid. What do you think about this kid?
I think he's having a great season. I think he could move up in the All. Like I said, that was done that's off of Inside Lacrosse, right? And that's there. See what it says right above Inside Lacrosse midseason. What does it say above that?
Where?
Right above where it says Inside Lacrosse.
honorable mention.
Right. So they picked the first team, second team, third team, honorable mention, and that's not. When it really comes down to those awards at the end of the year, this is their guessing. There's other people who are on committees that vote for it. I actually think that he could nudge up higher with the kind of season he's having.
Well, and it always depends, as we know, the victors get the spoils. So if
you have to win.
If you go to the Final Four, if you go to the championship game, your guys are going to be in that mix. If you're knocked out in the first round of the playoffs, you're probably, at best, maybe in the honorable mention discussion. But that's, that's how it goes.
So seeding is important, then you're saying?
I'm saying
not seeding, winning. Winning. You got to be at the end of the day. If you make it to the Final Four, and even if you lose, at least you have an opportunity to receive accolades. Listen, I think a lot of these kids, everybody likes accolades, but I really think they really want to win more than anything.
Yeah.
I think they want to be in the Final Four. I think they want to win a Final Four, win a championship. Even if you just get to a Final Four, the enthusiasm of playing on that Memorial Day weekend is great. It's a great experience. It's only one team It's only one team that comes out as the winner. 3 teams come out.
It's a lot of fun. I agree with you. I really enjoy it. Coming back into this game after the last 3 years. As far as I'm concerned, I've been to 3 Final Fours.
The other thing that I noticed, that Notre Dame game, I have a little bit of questions about their defense. I don't think they're as stout as they have been in the past, and I think we're going to see when they have to play some of these road games, like when they play Cornell on Long Island or when they play at Virginia, if they have to play at Virginia.
Who you talking about, Syracuse or Notre Dame?
Going
Notre
on Notre
Dame.
Dame. I
Oh,
think there's some questions there. I don't feel completely like they were always such a stout defensive team that would maybe like offensively that they were just trying to get enough goals. They would figure to get 12 goals and they were going to win because they could hold teams down. I don't see that this year. Like they're definitely more of an offensive team. It seems like this year than a
Hmm.
defensive team. Enterman's a great goalie, and he's covering up some things too for them. But
Yeah, they haven't given up too many goals though. They're one of the tops in the country for giving up goals. And it's not, they played Maryland, they played Syracuse, they played Michigan, Ohio State, Georgetown. Cleveland State was that was just a scrimmage for them. 25-3. They gave up 3 goals, 8 goals, 11 goals, 9 goals, 10 goals,
yeah,
9 goals, 12 goals. And I think a bunch of those games, teams got goals late in games because they had pretty good leads. So that could be a little deceiving. But hey, listen, they got that freshman defenseman. I'm not sure of his name. That was covering Joey Spallina. The kid is very good. To have the confidence in putting him on him tells you something. The
hey,
kid
Vinny,
is.
I got a question for you and Steven, both of you. Like you talk about the midseason right now. I mean, just the midseason. I know who you guys like and the picks and how they picked Fish as midseason All American. Give me 2 defensemen where you guys really think have overreached and they're really rising to the top of that. Like who would you guys pick at midseason playing as good? In the
I've
game.
seen the list, but just from my own watching games, I like the guy Zappatella from Maryland. I think he's very good. I like Brow is one of the better ones from Duke.
Yeah, I
I
like
think.
him. I like that kid.
Yeah, and I like AJ Pilot has been playing really well, though he didn't have a great game the last one. Not for him against Carolina. They squeaked out that win, but those are probably guys. Look,
I
if you
like the
look at
I like the big guy on Virginia too.
the big guy on video, put it up. Can you put up that what Smalls is referring to that midseason
Oh,
ranking
you
of
have
guys?
it? I didn't know you have defense.
No, they got the whole thing.
I don't know. Hey, Vinny, I'd like to add a guy who we're not talking about. He was a freshman, and for a freshman now, he covered. Who was the freshman that covered 2.0? We call 2.0. You know who 2.0 is.
Yeah, we covered him when? What team?
Was it last game? He was a freshman. He had no points. He
That's
had
Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. I'm sorry. You're right. Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's who we were talking about. But
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't think that kid is on the radar for even All American because he's a freshman. So
Wow.
that's telling you these rankings of this stuff is it's for fun. It's for to read. It's something they do.
Could we have our own rankings? I mean,
Yeah, we could. We can make a list. I mean, look, there's a lot of season yet to go. There's guys. I mean, you could look at it depends. I don't know if these guys they really do the eyeball test or they just look at stats. I'm not sure. If you just go on stats, that's one group of guys. If you go on guys who whatever they do for their team, then it's something else.
I tell you another guy.
Uh,
I'll give you a Syracuse guy. Dwan did a nice job on O'Neill,
Kavanaugh.
and
Oh,
he's done well. He played well in this last game too. He's had a
no,
good
he's
year.
good. No, he's
Yeah,
playing good. You don't see it, Stephen, the thing?
yeah. I don't see it. I don't know. You have to send me the link, but you
Mm.
know, it's the other game Vinny mentioned a little bit that we can move to is that UNC Army game because UNC is now you're getting into you're going to start getting into the heat of the ACC games and the losses are starting to pile up, but I tell you, they played really well. I thought North Carolina. They showed a lot of heart in that game. They had a lead for a lot of it. Army was tough, battled back. Their goalie started playing amazing, and it came down right to the end. So they've lost
Yeah,
those.
that's That's a good road win, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for Carolina, but I do see some good things. They're a young team, they're competing. They're definitely they're
They need
definitely
to learn how to finish games. They got to
yeah.
learn how to finish games. They're getting leads in games. So, by the way, I'm looking at this thing now. The three guys I said, they did project. They picked Zappatella, Brower, and Pilot as the D guys. The second team was they listed Brendan Lavelle from Penn, who did a very good job on Brennan O'Neill that game when Penn won. I think that's who was called. Cole Kasner from Virginia, the tall guy you said, and this guy Scott Smith from Hopkins, who's been a pretty good eraser in games. Third team, Alex Ross, Penn State, Chris Conlon, Notre Dame, and Billy Dwan. He's as a third teamer. And then the honorable mention D guys, you got a kid from Princeton, Michael Bath, Mason Woodward, Marquette. This guy's good. Jackson Bonnet's from Navy. He's a tough kid. I seen him play. He's good. Patrick Morrison, and that's it. But like I said, this list changes based on how the rest of the season goes, who makes the playoffs, all kinds of things like that. But they say one of the best guys. This long stick midi from Albany, this kid Jake Pizzano, man, he's good.
They have a committee though.
He's a
Pizzano from Yale? You talking about
no,
Yale?
not him. Although he's doing well, but this kid's name is Jake. He spells it a little different. He spells it Piseno. I think he played for the Haudenosaunee in the World Games.
Wow.
He was really good. I mean, he was ripping guys over the head. He's like freewheeling. Great
But
ground
they have
balls.
him listed as a D-man there, or as a.
They got him listed as a long stick midi.
Yeah.
They got him as the first team All-American long stick midi.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
I mean, I heard, I forget who it was raving about him. Somebody was saying he might be the best player in the country at his position, because he's very good. That
Take
guy.
it easy. Take it easy.
I don't know what other Poles can be better than him, to tell you the truth. I've watched him play. He's very good. And look, okay, here you go, Small. So last year, Enterman was the first team All-American, right? And the MVP of the national championship. In this midseason thing, they got Will Mark, the goalie, as the first team guy, and they got Enterman as the second team.
And who do they have as a third team?
Third team goalie is Emmett Carroll of Penn. And then I'll tell you some of the other goalies.
What about the Virginia kid?
They said Jack Fracon, Penn State, played great last night. Patrick Jamison, Duke. These are guys who have very high save percentages. Zach Vieg, Richmond, and Mason Oak, Quinnipiac. Now what I'm telling you is it could be strictly on percentages. Could be on stats.
Yeah,
a lot of guys just go on stats. You can't strictly go on stats. But they know they're pretty close. I would say they're not way off on this list. But it'll end up tweaked by the end of the year. The attackmen they picked Schellenberger, O'Neill, and Brandow. Those are the
Who's
three
leading in the scoring? I want to know about scoring and assists.
points
Who's leading
right
the country?
Points right now. Spallina's leading.
He
Spallina's
got
leading.
shut out last game.
Yeah, but he still has the most points. But he's played more games than some of these guys. Brandow has the most points per game. But just for straight goal points, Spallina's got 63 points. O'Neill's got 57. Kid from VMI, 55. Perfetto, Manhasset kid from BU, 54. In goals, Justin Tiernan from Michigan's leading in goals. He's tied, actually, with Cormier. Dyson Williams is third. And O'Neill are tied at 36. Assists leader is Spallina. He's got 38 assists on the season.
Right.
So he's pretty balanced. He gets more assists than goals right now, but that's what they need him to do, is be a facilitator.
Yeah, that's true.
They got a lot of shooters, but he'll get his chances. He knows how to play. So he's a
Steven,
fun.
he looks like he's shaky. Steven looks like he's cold. Is he moving or am I crazy? He looks freezing. Are you
He
okay? Is
might.
your room cold? Dude,
Yeah.
I listen.
I have a
My
Luke
wife's.
shirt.
I have to wear jackets in this house. My wife doesn't turn a degree over. Like it's freezing. My mother comes out like, shit, turn up the heat. I'm fucking. She don't turn up the heat for grandma. 90 years old, my mom can be. Shit, turn up the heat for grandma. Oh man, this house is freezing all the time. I go to bed sometimes with a sweatshirt. No joke.
The other big game of the week was Cornell. Penn took down Cornell in overtime. That was
Yeah,
a
that was a
big game.
great win for Penn. They needed that win, Penn.
Bad loss for Cornell. Terrible. I mean that's a momentum thing. That's a psychological thing for kids.
I think
I
they
don't
did.
know. I think they understand that when they play within conferences, those are always battles, no matter what. Those teams that are in these same conferences. Look at Army was rolling, and then they got beat by BU. Not that BU is very good. I mean, Duke was lucky to get by them.
Well, they
So
had. It's not as though they didn't have chances. I mean, they Cornell had the ball a number of times in OT. Had some great opportunities to win that game because it was double OT. It actually was double OT, and they had some great chances. They missed a couple shots, a couple balls didn't connect on. It looked like they had every chance to win that game. And then they're going to have some tough games coming up. I mean, I'm looking at these schedules. I was looking, I was on the page of Carolina, not to go back too far to them, but they've got 4 games left. Carolina, they're 6-4, and they've got to play Virginia, Syracuse, Notre Dame, and Duke. That's pretty tough.
yeah, that was a tough game. Listen, I was talking to somebody today about it. So, Smalls, you've been very invested in this whole basketball thing, and you saw, starting with the 64 teams that make it, they expanded that. I was talking to somebody. Is it time to expand the lacrosse? Should they go to 20? Could they have 4 play-in games, and then take it from there?
I would do
Because
it if they could do it, manage it.
yeah, I mean, if you look at it right now. I mean, there's going to be some real disappointed teams this year who are going to get left out of this thing because you got the America East, you got the ASUN, that conference, the MAC. They get automatic qualifiers, so they're taking up 3 of the spots. Then you got the Atlantic.
I don't think they do it from my recollection of even going back from when Division II started, and I was coaching at Post, and there was only at first they just had a championship game. It's not like a formula to say, well, there's a lot of good teams, let's add teams. They really go strict by how many teams are in Division I, and then decide how many teams just based on that. So I think to expand it while they're adding programs is how they look to maybe expand that number. They won't expand it just based on competition. It's just if they add 5 more teams,
I think some teams
to,
have been added. There've been a few more that added, right? Merrimack came in,
right,
Limestone came
right.
in. Was
Lemoyne,
that an April? Was that Lemoyne? Was that an April Fool's joke today, or is Clemson really going to be in?
Clemson, that's an April Fool's joke. But wouldn't that be
thought-
great? Wouldn't that be great though?
Yeah, it would
And
be.
I think Smalls should be already laying the groundwork down at NC State to bring NC State back for Jeff Goldberg and
They actually
Yes,
talked
they-
about it this weekend a little bit. They really did.
Have a team. It's a shame they don't have a team, State. That program looked like it was taken off, and then boom, they dropped it.
well,
So-
maybe they'll
so-
get back.
Just to circle back, because I pulled it up, I'll tell you. Points per game. You asked about points and points per game. Number 1 is Matt Brandow from Yale, 6.5 points per game. Sam King, 5.89. TJ Malone, 5.75. Louis Perfetto, 5.40. Joey Spallina, 5.25. Dalton Young 5.20. Luke Rustarucci from VMI 5 points. Pat Cormier 5 points. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that are 5 points or more, and one guy over 6.
Hey,
Only one.
Vinny, I got a question. Good question for you guys about different eras. Just very quickly, I'll get this in and then we'll move on. Like, you remember the Powell brothers, how great they were when they played,
Mm-hmm.
right? In your opinion, can any of these guys today fit into one of their lineups and play like on attack? Could like a Spallina play on attack today with the Casey Powells and the legendary status they had in their day, or those guys like superior athletes? Like, how do you draw that line with today's
I think it's
athleticism?
I think you take the Powells. They could play in any era. They could play now. They could play then. They could play before. They were those kind of players. But can a guy like, if you're asking me specifically about,
I'm saying, let me ask the question so the fans
go
know.
ahead.
Can the athlete today, I'm throwing Spallina out there, I'm throwing other guys out there, the best attackman of today, give me 4 or 5. I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I think they could
Even-
all play. I think they could all play, all of them.
I think you should be
yeah?
asking it the reverse as athletes. It's clear these guys are in superior condition. These guys are conditioning themselves so much differently.
playing
We
a
weren't
lot more.
doing the things that they were doing. I mean, come on. Nobody was in the weight room like these guys are in the weight room and eating like
You're right
they're
about.
eating.
I'll tell you, you look at guys like Pinnell and those guys, right? I'll be honest with you. Out of all the athletes I see, I don't know if anybody's ever trained like Pinnell and ate and did everything like that kid. I mean, when I started to find out what that was, what he's doing is amazing.
Not guys I played with, that's for sure. But talking about like back to 1980, these guys like played a game and couldn't wait to go for burgers and drink their balls off.
Vinny, give me an example. When you were Vinny, give me an example. What is, now we won't know. Ready for the question, Steven?
Okay, here we go.
Big fact checker.
Here
I
we
love
go.
Vinny.
Here we go.
I
Steven.
love Vinny. I do
Here
love
we
him.
go.
He's great. He's a fact checker. He's the greatest in the game. Just ask him. He'll tell you. I said, but no. Now I'm going to ask him a very easy question. Vinny, what did you eat before the game when you played? He don't remember. I guarantee it.
And, well, you got to get. I played for 40 years. Give me a time frame. Give me a time frame.
When you're in college.
When I was in college, sometimes right before the game, I used to go right down on California Avenue to Roy Rogers on the corner.
I'm done the interview. Get the hell out of here.
Sometimes I'd even go in my uniform. I used to go change.
Steven, I can't take him no more, Steven. I'm sorry. I can't take Mr. Perfect. You ate Roy Rogers chicken before you went out and played a national game against Washington and Lee. He had 7 goals, he told me.
And a double R bar.
What?
Double
Sorry.
R bar was the
I'm
burger
sorry.
with the ham on it too, with cheese. Yeah, I used to go there.
Oh.
I remember one time I was sitting in Roy Rogers. It was about an hour before the game, and a guy came in with his 2 sons, and the guy's looking at me, and he said, "Don't you play on that team?" I
Oh,
said,
my
"Yeah."
God.
And you're here eating. I said, "Yeah,
Oh.
I got hungry." I used to be able to eat and play. It didn't bother me at all.
You remember this? He's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I got a quick question for Steven. Roy Rogers, what was his horse name? Vinny, don't answer. What was Roy Rogers' horse name?
I don't know. Trigger.
You got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
What color was the horse? What color was the horse?
Right?
White. Stevie Boy. That's my Stevie Boy.
Come on, 2 for 2.
I love you.
That's why I'm leading. Right now, so you know, for the season, I'm 53 and 44. Vinny's closing the gap. He's really getting on my heels. He's at 50 and 47. He's 3 games behind. And Smalls, you're 4 games behind him, trailing 46 and 51. So you got some work
But you
to do.
didn't make a note. You were last place this week, Steven. Is that correct?
I was last place. This week.
Oh.
Rutgers keeps screwing me up.
There's
Yeah,
certain
Rutgers
teams-
and Loyola, you can't.
Every time I pick Rutgers or Loyola, they lose. Or they
Steven,
don't
I wouldn't
cover.
rely on them. They're not a reliable source this year. I hate to tell you.
Well,
They're like a
all
weird
of these
team this
teams-
year.
all all of these
No,
teams
Rutgers
are
is a
good.
little down, and they're playing tough schedule. You know, they're
They have good players. They definitely have talent.
yeah,
It's hard.
everybody. You know, the truth is everybody's got talent. I mean, I watch these kids play. I'm amazed. You know, I said this a million times to different guys. I think when I was playing, you know, last year I played in college, it was 1980, and there were some great teams and great players and the whole bit. But if you watch some teams, you know, even the best teams warm up, you could almost tell, even if they had a hoodie on or something, without seeing their number, like who was the best guys. You could just see the difference in how they handled the stick, how they were shooting it in warm ups. Now I watch warm ups of games. Looks like every kid looks like an All American to me. They all look like they could shoot. They're all cutting and passing, and I'm like, what? So what if they have that ability to do that? What's separating the guys who are playing and at an All
IQ,
American stat?
IQ.
Yeah, yeah.
Ultimately,
I,
IQ is now the major
I
separation.
got something for you guys that's interesting. I want you guys to pick one thing that could change a team's whole outlook for the second half. I'm going with my thing. I'm going to pick on Duke. I would change. I know you're going to go against me what I'm saying, but that's okay. I would take Brendan O'Neill and put him on the line and make him play midfield instead of all offense. I would change the game for Duke right now, midseason. Could always put him back. One, get in better shape. Two, change a little look for him. He got little options. Three, they could bring him out of the box in the finals. You never know. I would change up Brendan O'Neill's gig right now. What say you on that? Am I off the Am I off my rocker? Tell me the news.
Tell them, Steven.
I don't think I don't think you have to go that drastic. I think you can do. I think what you're saying in a different way. I'll just say it differently. They have to be creative and move him around and let him do different things. Yes, there might be games where they might want to throw him as a shift on the midfield. But he's just too valuable. You don't want to have him on the sideline. He needs to be on the field. That's where you move him around and how you get him opportunities. I think you got to really be creative with that. But I
Yeah,
wouldn't
Steven, you're
purely
right. But
move him to
the ball's got to be in his stick. He's like a LeBron James. The more percentage that he touches, the more percentage that he's going to get advantage. He's so talented and that creating opportunities. And I think when he gets down the stretch,
They're really Syracuse really defended him well. I mean, they had double teams coming. He's got to be also a little bit more creative. When you're so dominant like he is, and you get used to dominating on the certain pattern things that you do, and you're successful doing them, when people start to stop them, you better start to do other things. And
that's why I think changing it up wouldn't hurt him. In case he had to do that when he gets to the final game, maybe they have to bring him out of the box and they're holding him down for the first half instead of last year, like that. I'm just saying it gives him an opportunity to understand what he might have to do when he has to change. So it's not so bad. You could always send him back if you want to, keep. I just thought something like that. That's it.
Well, let's look at it. Let's look at it this way. Okay, you're talking about giving him better opportunity. He's taken 120 shots this year, right? The next closest guy on his own team has 76, which is Dyson Williams, and the next closest guy after that has 54. So when you get down to the third guy, he's got almost 2.5 times as many shots as the guy. He's getting opportunities. The question is, where's he getting the shots from? Are a lot of them bad angle shots that he's just throwing at the
Yeah,
goal?
they are. Yes, they are.
So, okay. So how do you increase? So now his shooting percentage is not terrible. He's shooting 30%, based on that many shots. He's got 36 goals. 30% is not a terrible shooting percentage, really.
So it's 3 out of 10.
His shots on goal are 50%. So half the shots he takes, he makes the goalie make a save or it goes in.
Yeah, but they're not quality shots.
To me, that's kind of low.
What, 50% on goal?
I don't look at that. Yeah,
but
I think it's low, Benny.
To me, I don't think
That's
that's
a little
low
low.
because he shoots for corners. He shoots for corners all the time. He shoots as hard as he can. He's going to miss the goal a lot, But uh, he's got 36 goals on 60 shots on goal. So it tells you, a little more than half the time he does get it on goal, it goes in. It's just like I said. Can you get more of those shots from angles that give him a better chance to score? That's when you say whether that's coming out of the box, whether it's coming from the top a little more. So he's not trying to get underneath guys and fit it in a window like 6 inches by 6 inches all the time. Give him more net to shoot at, and he's going to score plenty of goals.
He's
But
also got also every defense. First he's got the best
no,
defender,
they're stacked.
and they're sliding, they're double teaming every time he turns his head. They're coming, so it's not easy. It's definitely not easy for him in terms of that. But he's still producing.
Roy Rogers.
Yeah, but look, he's getting 10 shots per game average, right? They play 12 games. He's got 120 shots.
Yeah, if he
He's
plays
getting 10
midfield,
shots.
if he's playing midfield, he might not get 10 shots a game.
No, that's what I'm saying. So let's go down. Let's look at McAdory. McAdory's only got 41 shots in 12 games. So he's just a little over 3 shots a game. So you're talking about one guy getting 10, this guy's getting 3.
What's his
3.5.
percentage? What's his percentage of scoring?
His shooting percentage is 39%. So he's shooting a better percentage than O'Neal. The best, Dyson Williams is at 4. So he's about the best for a volume shooter.
So hold on. Let me ask you, where do you see it could change for Duke to bring different opportunities? Should we be giving somebody else the ball? Should that midfielder be getting the ball going one-on-one with the short stick? Or should the other guy be getting it?
Well,
they got to create something new to get more advantage to win it all. Listen, I don't think they're going to win it all playing the way they're playing.
I don't know that you got to change so much. I think you just got to tweak some things. They were up until that Syracuse game leading the country in goals scored. They had like 18 or 19 goals per game. Even when if you throw out the lowest one they had and the highest one they had, they're still up there in the high teens. So they score, but they have looked a little lethargic in the way they're playing. Maybe they're a little bored. Maybe, they got 15 regular season games. Maybe they're trying to get to the finish line when it matters. I don't know. But, seasons, they take on a life of their own sometimes. It's like you can't wait to get to the games that more matter, So maybe they're going through a little bit. No, they all matter now. I mean, like Small said before, seeding is definitely going to be important. You don't want, if you're an ACC team, and they still look to me to be a little more the cream of the crop, the top 4, right?
You don't want Syracuse.
If you're one of them, but Syracuse doesn't want to be playing Virginia in the quarterfinals.
That's a good point.
Notre Dame in the quarterfinals.
I'll say this, and we could talk about that game a little bit. Virginia traveled up to Harvard, and Harvard led for most of the game, and it was a battle, and then Virginia flicked the switch on in the fourth quarter, closed the gap, ended up winning it with the goalie running down the field at 10-10. Goalie runs down
Tinnell's
the lane
guy,
and bounce shot and puts the goal in to win the game.
Yeah,
that's my boy Keith Tinnell's kid.
I want
to give a shout out to my boy Keith Tinnell, man. Happy Easter, Keith Tinnell, belated.
But
that's his kid. He trained that kid. He's from the sticks of Texas, I think, like somewhere in Texas, I believe.
Yeah,
Woodlands, Vinny Woodlands.
Yeah,
and he had a lot of saves.
He's good. No, listen, every team has had their, people were saying Virginia. All right, they had a stumble against Johns Hopkins. They played a close game.
But
that's
what I was saying. I think right now, to me, Virginia's starting to look until they play a game where maybe they don't look so hot. They look like a team that can turn it on at any moment. I mean, they're traveling, they're on the road. When it mattered, they just exploded.
I agree with you. Virginia's right now number 1 in the country. I give them 1. I give 2 to Notre Dame.
Right.
That's our little official thing, So
all I can tell you is we don't have to wait very long. Within the next 10 to 20 days, it's all going to shake out with these teams playing each other. Starts for Syracuse. They're coming down the home stretch, Syracuse. they really have to. They really have to play a good game against Cornell tomorrow night.
Well, we're gonna
That's
pick
usually
that
a
game.
very
We're gonna
good
pick that
rivalry.
game. Let's pick that game right now. You know, that's a game right now that you got. Where is it here? Let me pull it up.
Can we?
Syracuse.
I want to chime in on something. Can next week we get a guest on, a player? Can I get a player on next week?
Who you getting?
I want to get Fish, my first player.
Oh,
I
you
want to see if
wanna-
I can ask the father if he lets Fish come on. Mike Leo, the two Mike Leos, the father and son.
Oh, you want father and son?
Would I be allowed to do that? Is that legal?
Yeah, why not? It's legal.
But I don't want to,
Minus
I don't want to
2.
start. He might start advertising for his fish company. This ain't about fish here. That's why,
All right,
by the way, to all our
Syracuse-
fans, that's why we named. Hold on, Steven. That's why we named the Leo's Fish, because he works for a fish company. So, AKA, we call him Fish. So I'd like to get them on next week.
Syracuse is minus 2.5 against Cornell. At
Oh.
Cornell.
So they're favorite at Cornell.
I think it's going to be a blowout, in my opinion.
I'm
A
taking the
blowout
Big
in that
Red.
game.
I'm taking the Big Red.
I say a blowout by 4 or more is a blowout. That's my blowout. But in order to win that game, that little kid, that freshman, and you know what I'm talking about, Steven, if he comes up big, they win. He's got to get 2 to 3 points.
Who are you picking?
Paul Goldstein.
I just said I'm picking Syracuse.
Okay.
But if that kid comes up big, the freshman, the Goldstein, they pull it out. But he's got to get at least 4 points.
I'm picking the Big Red.
Okay. Vinny?
What do you got, Ben?
I'm going with Cornell at home. Midweek game. Tuesday night games are tough. I'm going with Cornell as an underdog.
2.5
I think-
goals. That's
I think they bounce back from that tough one with Penn.
How much more time we got on this? I'm not rushing, but he's got to talk to me. He wants to know. We got these tickets. Now they're asking me for tickets for the Final Four basketball. They're all Mr. Basketball. Now they're coming to the guy, Mr. Man. Oh, this is my specialty. Oh,
Take
man.
it easy, Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby, take it easy.
Uncle
You're right,
Bobby.
Vinny. I'm on all cylinders. The Ferris wheel is going.
Let's make some predictions before the Final Four. Without the spread, who do you got? NC State, Purdue.
NC State.
NC State.
I'm with NC State too. What about the other game?
I'm calling for a big upset. Alabama over UConn. Big upset.
I'm saying UConn.
I'll take UConn. And UConn NC State final. Wow, that would be classic.
No, listen.
Going all the
If you
way.
guys have anything in your body, any faith in your whole life,
the ghost of Jimmy V is
the
shining
ghost of
out.
Jimmy V, if you have any faith in me, you guys haven't believed in me one day since I've known you, and I still love you guys. I love Vinny and I love you, but it's okay. Nobody ever loved me in my life, so I have to believe in what I believe in. It's fate all the way. Jimmy Valvano, I'll go and kiss his grave this week. I'll fly over there and kiss Jimmy's grave. It's right over here on Long Island.
Yeah, they're
Because
putting all the
he's looking
flowers.
down, man.
They were putting flowers and notes on his grave. I saw it.
It's unbelievable, Steven. They're playing magical. You can't say like they're getting
No
lucky.
question. It's the team of destiny. That's what they were in 1983, and it's.
Will this be the greatest win in the history of sports? Will this be the greatest win in the history of sports?
Well, to
I
just
don't know
give you
about the history of sports, but
well,
it's
put it this way,
just
Joe,
to do it.
Jay Billis had a video where he posted where he said this is the greatest run he's ever seen in college basketball.
Wow.
So he's including that 83 team. Now, obviously, look, it matters to close the deal. Obviously, it makes it magical if you can close the deal. That's like anything else. Winning trumps everything else. So
I'll make a
you gotta
statement
go
to you.
there win 2 games.
When we win it all, when me, Jim Valvano, win it all, I promise you, No one in the world will stop me from being on the court. I will be on that court celebrating. Vinny, do you agree with me or disagree?
Oh, you already told me you don't care about getting arrested or nothing else.
I want them to arrest me. I haven't been arrested in years.
He's storming the court, Uncle Bobby.
Vinny, everybody will. It'll be a melee. You can't stop the NC people. It's destiny. They'll have to spread out. What are you going to stop people from running out? No way.
He's going to be right. He'd be doing a snow angel with the confetti at mid-court, and we'll be watching when they play the song after the thing is over. He's going to be right in the middle of it. There's no doubt. Somehow he'll wedge his way into it.
Well,
it truly is special, guys. It's truly like something. It's something out of a movie.
He's one of the few guys we know, Stephen, who went to last year. He went to, or 2 years. We went to both the Final Four lacrosse and the Final Four basketball, and he's going to do it again this year.
Exactly. Listen, the other game that we can pick, there's a couple games here,
man,
but I want to pick this game.
And the best part is he's got a rooting interest because he's got friends. He's got kids' friends on all the teams. That's the best part, right?
Yeah, it's really, it's so surreal. I was crying too. I'm not going to lie to you. Everybody was crying. The father, Timmy, almost had a heart attack. I don't know if I could watch a game with my son. Timmy was out of it. I'm sitting next to Timmy. Out of all the people in the country, I'm sitting next to Tim O'Connell at the game. He kept saying, I got you, Smalls. I got you, Smalls. Oh, my God. He got me tickets, treated me to the STK Steakhouse with 10 people. I go, Tim, no one's ever paid for me in my life. Every check I pay. He goes, I got you covered, Smalls. I got you covered, Smalls. Just a wonderful family. His wife, Tara, is such a beautiful soul. You can't get better than that in life. And just everything that's happened been a movie. It's been a movie. It really has. All the Burns family, the big guy, his father, his parents, DJ, the little guy, DJ, they're all both DJs. The family is unbelievable. DJ Burns and the other DJ, their families all travel well. I just don't even know how to explain what it is.
Did you ask Coach Keats where he got those special magical shoes? Are you going to get them? You need a pair of those magic shoes he wears.
Did you see the technical they called on him? There's never been a technical ever called in the championship game in 70 years since it's been going on, ever.
Yeah,
never been one technical.
He went out of the box. That was like,
But it's called cheating.
Well, they could have gave him a warning.
Vin, they didn't want NC State to win. If it's a close game, it's going to Duke. I've been around and watched enough games in my life.
It wasn't going to be close. Duke was not on their game. They got.
I'll tell you one thing. If you're talking about first team All-American, the guard from Duke, I would put him on first team as the best guard in the country. He's right there. That kid, he hit like 6 threes every time. Three. They would have lost by 20.
Well, I think he might declare for the draft. I think he's going.
He should. He's that good. When you can shoot like that, come on, the guy. Kapowski, however you pronounce his name, he's an amazing player, so I'm never going to say no. He didn't play right. Fouled out.
Steven?
He just called him Kapowski.
Kapowski, yeah. He's got a name for everybody.
Now you're going to attack people who have dyslexia and problems. There they go again. The two lovely friends. They'll never. Go ahead, keep laughing. Really, keep it going. You laugh at my dyslexia, my disformity. That's fine.
Disformities? You got disformities.
There they go. Steven. They abuse me, guys. Listen, they're good people. They mean well.
They're going to start
happy
to tell
Easter,
me
guys.
I need a mute button or something.
How was your Easter, Stephen, with your little beautiful daughter? Stephen's got a wonderful family, man. Let me tell you.
We went to Vinny's house. We had a great time. It was fantastic.
Yeah. You got any chocolate left? I didn't get any Easter bunnies this year. Nobody buys me an Easter bunny. Every year I get a bunny.
I got plenty of. I still got 3.
You got chocolate left, Vin?
Of course, I got chocolate.
Oh my God!
Let's
talk about the last thing. I want to talk about Vinny.
For instance, wait a minute. You got 2 games to pick. You're in
I,
last place.
I want
You
to talk
need
about
as
Vinny
many
losing
games
weight,
as
but go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
Princeton is laying 5.5 against Lehigh.
I got Lehigh. All Lehigh. No way.
I got
No
Lehigh.
way.
Too. I'm taking Lehigh too.
I'm going with Princeton.
Okay. And then this one is up here already. I think this is from the weekend. This was, at least they got a lineup. We could pick it now. The other ones will have to wait, but they have Notre Dame as a 1.5 favorite over Duke.
Wow. They're
I
playing
like
at
Duke.
Game.
I like Duke in an
they're playing
upset.
at- they're playing at Notre Dame, right?
I'll tell you right now. They are playing. I think they're playing at Duke.
Wow, Notre Dame.
I like Duke. I like Duke.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Vinny's afraid. He's afraid.
I'm gonna go with-
Vinny won't be eating sausage and macaroni, with the balsamos if he picks
I think
against
I'm
them.
going to go. I just have a feeling Notre Dame is going to play. I don't know if this layoff for
It's at Duke. It's at Duke.
Duke is off for 11 days. I don't know if it's going to help them or it'll come out a little flat.
Help them. It's going to help them, Vinny.
Well, I could tell you one thing. I'm watching the TV as we're doing this. If you see me peeking up, it's UConn and USC are tied at 59 with 7:21 left in the game.
What's that girl's name? Juju? Denise? What's her name?
Juju and the Page are putting on a show. They both have about 20 points.
Wow. Very good athletes, yeah.
Close to
All right, who did we pick? I'm picking Duke.
I got Duke.
I picked Notre Dame.
Okay. All right. Those
Steve, I didn't hear you.
I'm picking Duke also. I think they're gonna. I think they'll be prepared. I think they've been getting ready. They got those 10 days off. I think they'll be okay.
I think Brendan's going to silence the critics with 4 to 6 points. That's my opinion.
He can do it. He can do it for sure.
It wouldn't be a total surprise. That kid is clearly one of the most talented players in a lot of
Guys,
years.
I got to sign off. I got to take this with Timmy.
Go ahead. Go talk to Timmy.
Love you guys. All right.
All right. We know Coach Keith.
See you guys later. All right. Hey,
Take care.
Yeah, we ended. I just ended it. I had to talk to you. See, they're all laughing. End the podcast. I'm talking to the big kahuna. All right, let's get right down to it. Get right to the questions, the seriousness. I'm ready to roll. Go ahead.